Hello survivors and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to be looking at Chris, who is a new promo character. He is a strong Decapitate multi-hit rush character. This is the 5-star variant. This is what it looks like, and we'll take a look at the 6-star variant. Just gets a bit more geared out, has a baseball cap and some gloves, but he's got a handgun in his pocket and he's rolling around with a, I don't know what he's got in his hands. Is that a baseball bat? It looks like an axe. It is an attached weapon, of course. So we'll look at the 6-star. As you can see, 2002 attack, 1299 defense, and 1596 HP. So really high attack. There aren't many characters who have higher attack than that. The second it goes over 2k, you're golden basically. The defense is pretty low. I'd say anything under 1350 it's getting pretty low, but the HP is in the nice sort of area. You do see a lot of damage dealers do have reasonable HP, but their defense is generally quite low. Looking at the rush, obviously with the way the base defense works, it affects the basic attacks that are just normal hits will do a lot of damage, but also it affects how high your overall multiplier goes. 250% here is going to be like massive, and we're just going to read this out. Savage strikes, 85 AP, deal 3 attacks of 250% damage, 750% total to one enemy. This character gains 25% AP and gets focus for 3 turns. So this potentially, just because he's got a Decapitate special, he could potentially decapitate 3 people in 1 turn, or at least with 1 rush, because he could finish off 3 characters depending on other characters that you run. Let's say you got Brian from the recent event. He hits a collateral, you have splash damage as well. Lots of low damage characters are sitting around, and this guy's rush is available. He could effectively decapitate 3 people. So this is a really strong rush. It is a bit slow, obviously. Tyrese, there are not many AP on attack leaders within melee. I would say leaders within the melee sort of teams are the worst right now. Like, they are terrible. They have been for a very long time. Within free to play, I don't even think within promos they're that great. There isn't anybody like there isn't anybody like an Andrea. There isn't anybody like a Blue Carl. Nothing like that where it's all melee and it gives AP on attack and damage or defense or something like that, just a pure stat. There is no one like that. And melee's struggling because of that on attack right now, in my opinion. And when we see his rush, obviously he gets focus for 3 turns. He does gain 25% AP back, so he's going to get over 20 of that AP. So it's going to go from a very slow rush to a 60 AP rush basically. So that's going to be pretty nice. In terms of if he's got AP on his weapon or an AP leader, he's going to be able to get his rush every 3 turns from here. So it'll be attack, rush after that first rush goes off. Now looking at the active, it is defense down and attack up. And minus 50% defense to one enemy for 2 turns. This character gets plus 50% attack for 2 turns. So he could set this up by himself for the next turn to do his rush. He could set this up and then be commanded if you needed a guaranteed kill. If you did this and then attacked with this character, unless that character had like a stun on defense and it did block that rush, because that's how that rush works, you can get stunned, he would, like, almost definitely with minus 50% defense, he would decapitate that character. So it's a good way to safely remove a revived character or safely remove a shield or something like that if you really want to. Obviously we've seen Decapitate already. It is pretty much the highlight of this character. I think his kit so far has been nice, but Decapitate really makes this character go from just like a good damage dealer to just being like such a key character, because Decapitate is just so important right now. I would say the current strong Decapitate character, which is Alpha, is not that great, just because obviously she hits about as hard as this guy with 1 of his attacks, but to 5 people, you could, I mean, obviously if people are weak and debuffed, potentially she can do a lot, be dangerous, but it's hard to set that up. You have to have a very particular team build for that, whereas this character can just slot in. You can even have no good characters to like support this guy and he can almost be a solo, He's going to be absolutely fine by himself, but if you've got any supporting characters as well, it's going to be great. Now he has got an attached weapon like I talked about before, and it is interesting. Obviously it's going to be really powerful because he's a promo, and it's got 30% attack, 15 crit, and this bit, the special, when attacking, a better chance to gain 35% AP. Now, if you understand how these rushes work, these rushes, when it has 3 separate attacks, means that that weapon can proc, which means it can actually, you know, that random event where he can get that 35% AP can occur 3 times. If you know that 3 times 35% is over 100% AP, that means he could rush twice in 1 turn if he got commanded. He could rush 2 turns in a row. You know, he could rush. I mean, he doesn't even need to get all 3 of those attacks off. Like, he doesn't need to even get all 3 of those attacks to give him the bonus AP from the weapon. He could get 2 of them to give him, or 1, and then the next turn he's going to get his rush available, and he can be commanded the second turn because he's getting 25% AP every time he rushes as well. The combination altogether is really, really powerful, and it basically makes attack teams massively strong. Decapitate is really, really important, and this just makes me I sometimes just smile at this sort of thing, because obviously this is a promo character. I would say within free to play this is so desperately needed in terms of just a Decapitate. I don't even want it attached to such a strong kit. It could just be like a 500% damage single target attack. It's so desperately needed within Decapitate within free to play, just because there's never been a free to play Decapitate that's easily, like, readily available. It's been in RNG wheels or depots, and some people just will never get this character. We recently had Dwight, who was released, who had 75% heal reduction, and that, if it was 100%, it would have been nice for like 2 turns, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. But it is going to be a Decapitate in the promo wheel. If you're going to pull for this guy, I think he is going to be worth it. But in terms of his speed, he's already obsolete now in terms of his speed. He's not going to be fast enough to rush on a consistent basis on that first rush. But afterwards, he is going to be fast enough. So you have to deliberate whether you want to wait for another character. There are other Decapitates out there, of course. Sandy, for instance. I think Sandy against melee teams is probably better than this guy. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know. I think this guy's weapon makes him really, really dangerous. But that's it in this video, guys. Do tell me what you think. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.